So crime scene has been in the enclosure with Bloodbath, and I've been seeing him getting some breeding done, but today we're gonna be moving him in with Ginger. And you guys can see I grabbed that net. Look, some people may think it's an overkill, but I like to be very careful even with my pairs that have been together and done well. So the net is there so I can break up any fights if one was to happen. So I'm gonna set him in the enclosure, and I'm gonna sit out here for the next little bit and make sure that they're getting along okay. Isn't he just beautiful? Crime scene. So we just placed him in, and he walked right over to her. She's probably not gonna love the idea of him being in here, but I don't expect there to be any issues. But like I said earlier, I like to always be ready, because Tegus can surprise you. They truly can. So be ready. You won't regret being ready, that's for sure. He's looking up. I see that typically before they start running, but they don't typically do that if they're going to attack. But we need to keep a close eye. I like to introduce pairs when I know that they're not hungry. So yesterday I fed Crime Scene and Ginger a good meal, and so I don't like hunger to play a part if there's any fighting or anything like that. So everybody's well fed when I put pairs together. This is our greenhouse, and we have not had time to work on it in the couple years that we've lived out here, but my sister, niece, and nephew offered to help us out this week. So I can't wait to show you guys the progress in this video and talk about our future plans with it. Okay, so what I've got here is we've got our meat mix, and we mixed in some crocodile diet, some Missouri croc chow. It's the small pellets. I like to mix it in, and it soaks up the juices after the meat mix thaws out. So we're gonna go and feed some of our tegus right now. Thor and Rosie. Okay, Thor's not feeling it. You gotta be on your toes. I'm telling you guys, breeding season is a whole nother ball game. I don't know if I got that on camera at all, but he just lunged at us. But that I can't recall a time he's ever done that. But that he's in here with his lady, and some males and some females. Some of them get more defensive during breeding season. Now, if I kept this animal inside full time, I don't think I'd see that behavior, but then again, sometimes you can. So there's another one of our black and white females. She usually comes over and eats right away. She's definitely been nesting. I'm not sure how far away we are with her, but we'll see. Sometimes they can trick you and go longer. She's doing really good, and she's gonna love this little meal here. Crow and Raven, if she decides to join us, which I'm sure she will. I like making my own meat mix because it's a good way to get variety foods into my tegus diet. If you're curious what we put in our meat mix, I'll put a card at the top of the screen. So we're going to be taking Topaz from this blue female and putting him next door with another blue female. The female that he's going in next door, her name's Iris, pure blue, and let's do it. All right, we got Topaz, and we're gonna put him next door. Beautiful, pure blue Tegu, and an amazing breeder. So Topaz was just placed in this enclosure. He immediately crawled right under there. I see the tip of his tail sticking out. I'm on standby. You guys kind of know how this goes. I've got this net here, and I'm just gonna stay here and watch for the next little bit. Each time, I always treat it like it's their first time and just like to be observing. Make sure that if there is an altercation, I'm here, break it up, and separate them immediately. So that's what you have to do when you're pairing up tegus, or really when you're pairing up any animals for any reason. So if you're putting animals together for any reason, they should always be observed. So this is a Mexican tiger rat snake. You want to feed them small prey items like I'm doing here, and feed them frequently. There we go. Look at that. You ever seen a snake eat like that? Look, little cockroach coming out. What the? Oh my, what just happened? What's happening right now? Look at the snake looking for that roach. What is happening? Look, there's a cockroach right there. And a Mexican tiger rat snake right there. And they were just right up in each other's face. What is the snake thinking right now? He's definitely staring right at me. Let's go get him another mouse. I mean, I love this snake. I seriously love this snake. I only have 2 snakes, and they're both Mexican tiger rat snakes. I think these guys are amazing. Mine are captive bred and absolutely beautiful, but I've seen some that are just like tons of yellow. Mine don't have tons of yellow, but I don't care. They're still super beautiful, have amazing personalities, extremely smart. I cannot wait to get them in some huge enclosures and get to see all of their natural behaviors. Day 1 is complete on the greenhouse, you guys. We did so much work today. We got a lot done. Just remember what this room looked like. Just look up here. Remember all those vines growing all over the ceiling. There was holes in the floor from tortoises. Everything's leveled and looking really, really good. Everything's cleaned up. So I've got Pumpkin here. This is our Argentine red female, really pretty girl. But I'll tell you guys something about her. On the screen right now is a clip from last year where Pumpkin actually goes after the anery male, and you're going to be able to see just how well the net works at preventing the tegus from biting each other. I have tried housing Pumpkin next to the anery male in a screened enclosure to where they could see each other constantly, and she still went after him that season. I've tried putting him in her enclosure. I've tried putting her in his enclosure. I've tried lots of different things. It's very possible, if we don't have success this time, that this pairing just may not ever happen. But I would love for it to happen. I think they're beautiful, and I'd love to produce some babies with them. So I'm going to show you guys how I do this and how I do it as safe as possible. So it still gets me a little nervous, but I have produced with her before, and I would love to breed her with this amazing anery male that we have. And so let's go ahead. So what I do is I keep the net between them because Pumpkin is fast, and I've seen her just go for the kill. So we're just gonna let this play out for a minute. I want to see her curious without trying to attack. Going in his house. I'm gonna keep him over here for now. I'm gonna let her explore a little bit. Like I said, these guys, she did attack him 2 years ago. I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the net. I just put them together, and she showed me right then. It was scary. She attacked him, and obviously they're both okay. He's okay, but it was something scary. I don't want to go through that again. I see him really kind of taking a defensive posture, almost like he's either just, I don't know if he's, sometimes I see males do that when females are giving off vibes of like, don't come near me. Or sometimes I also see just, what's the word? Inexperienced males do that as well. I like using the net because they can still see each other and smell each other, but there's zero chance of biting. See his tail wiggling. He's posturing up to her. He's worried about her. She's just cruising through, sniffing around, not really paying him too much attention. But right now she is. Letting them. He's biting her. You see that? Mm-hmm. He bit her. I don't know if that was just inexperience or him actually remembering these past experiences. Like, you know, I don't know. Pumpkin's also, she's a big female. She's at least his size, maybe a little bit bigger, which is not ideal. So I don't know. Maybe in her enclosure now, so they're switched. So maybe they'll spend time getting to know each other's scent. I don't know. We will see. I'm gonna give them a couple days like this, and then maybe I'll try again. That makes me think that maybe Pumpkin is ovulating right now. That's kind of what I was feeling, because if she wasn't ovulating, she would have tried to murder him for sure. But it was the other way around. He was feeling all worried. But look at him dragging his scent around her enclosure right now. You'll notice he's not lifting up his back legs. All the way to her hide, he's dragging his back legs on the ground. That is marking his scent. They have scent glands right at the base of their tail, and he's rubbing those. So maybe there is something to it. Maybe he will smell her, and I don't know, maybe it'll make a difference. We're gonna try to put these guys together again next week, so make sure you guys subscribe. The Bakeri looking amazing. One's gonna run in the hide probably. They just got moved outside. You guys saw when they got moved out, and they're still adjusting, but looks like the male is going to let us approach. You guys will see here in the next couple months, they will become puppy dog tame, climbing on my shoulders, eating out of my hands. But they take time whenever you move them enclosures. Whenever I move them from inside to outside, they take a little bit to adjust, but we still have babies available for them. You guys can check them out on the website, link in the description. All right, so we are back out here working on the greenhouse. It's another day, a new day. You guys can see we are working on painting the trim. Check it out. Our goal here is to match the greenhouse with the reptile shed. So the reptile shed is blue and white. So we went to Lowe's and we got some paint the exact same color. So you guys can see the tortoise house here. We've painted the side of it blue. The whole thing's gonna be blue. And then all the trim on the greenhouse is gonna be white. We got it all gutted out yesterday and cleaned up, ready for paint. Now we're painting. So it's coming along. On last week's video, we paired up the Tribrid male with Anna and the other Tribrid female. He completely ignored the Tribrid female but was pursuing Anna. I just fed Anna and the Tribrid. There's even more food in the cage, and I think it's time to go ahead and take the Tribrid male and introduce him back into there again. All right, we got the Tribrid male. Now I'm gonna go put him in the enclosure. Immediately, the Tribrid male picked up Anna's scent and started pursuing her. There was no aggression, but I'm also not sure if he was ever able to catch her. Next week, I'm going to try putting her in his enclosure, and we'll see how that goes. Wesley, let's go feed some tortoises. Now we are going to go feed one of the family favorites, the Sulcata tortoises. Because of their large size and confidence, my kids have always enjoyed feeding and hanging out with the Sulcatas. Once a week, we give them collard greens, turnip greens, and mustard greens. It's definitely a day that they all look forward to. Now you guys have already seen me move Topaz once this week, but we're actually going to be moving him again. Right now I'm going to be moving him in with Vanessa. We bred them last year and they produced some amazing babies, and they even produced albino tegus. So we're going to repeat that breeding again, but just like pairing up any of them, I get a little bit nervous, but I'm going to go ahead and get Topaz and put him in with Vanessa. All right, we got Topaz here. He was actually pursuing the female that he was with right then, but I know that he's bred with her. So we're gonna go ahead, put him in with Vanessa and see what they can do. He's actually a little bit nervous coming into this enclosure. I don't love that. You can see how he's, right now, he is dragging his scent glands, which is fairly normal as soon as he comes in. But when I first dropped him in, he was definitely feeling a little bit insecure, like wiggling his tail around, that's a sign. And then spinning in circles like that. You guys see how he kind of, and he's like raising his back towards me. He's a little nervous right now. I'm gonna set this camera down, get it on a time lapse, and just that way my hands can be free because I need to be ready in case something happens. Vanessa is in the hide right now. So Topaz, he's one of our most experienced males that we have here. He gets in, he gets the job done. This guy knows what he's doing. And with Vanessa, he took his time. She eventually came out of the hide. He pursued her, getting on her back, following her around the enclosure, and eventually he gets the lock. So hopefully within 30 days, maybe we'll see some eggs. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so here is the greenhouse. This is where we got this week. We're still working on it, so make sure you guys tune in next week. We're gonna show you the continuation of working on this greenhouse, but you guys can see we got a little path going on. We've got the tortoise house done, and then come around back. We've got a garden started back here. We're gonna be growing some of our own food and things for the reptiles. We've got the tortoise house right here. We're gonna be moving the redfoots back here when they're a little bit bigger. I'm really excited about this greenhouse and having it all cleaned out and usable. Inside, we hung some lights. Pretty cool. Stained all the shelves. Just got it all cleaned up, got all the tools organized, and we are ready to rock and roll in here. These guys are pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
I like the redfoots. So the redfoots are the ones that we are thinking about moving into the greenhouse that you guys saw us working on in this video. So when these guys are bigger, they are going to be moving into the backyard in the greenhouse. That's our plan right now.